imagine this scenario because the intro is enough for this video. So, imagine that you work in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and today your shift is on the nuclear reactor number 4. You see that the graphite rod is not working properly. You go and tell your seniors about it, but the problem here is that they do not take it seriously. But as night approaches, something very bad is about to happen. At around 1 a.m., the nuclear reactor number 4 bursts into flame. The heat emitted by it is so strong that the top of the reactor is blown off. The sleeping workers of the reactor are awakened by the sound of the explosion. They run to save their lives, but one of them, being brave, calls the fire department and tells them to come as soon as possible. Meanwhile, some of the other fleeing workers turn around to see the worst possible scenario that could have happened as a result of the explosion. The reactor is on fire! They shout to themselves. After all this, they come running towards the residential colonies where their families live. But the time that they reach there, their lungs have absorbed too much of the radioactive fumes and also their brains are under too much panic that they faint. The family members of them are frightened by the sight of almost 10 to 15 people fainting on the street, and some of them fainted near the doors of their house. So guys, now let's come back to the site of the nuclear reactor and continue from there. It has been around half an hour, but there is no sign of the fire department. But eventually they do arrive. The firefighters stepping out of the fire truck do not realize that this will be the last fire they have ever fought in their lives. But according to their conscious minds, it is just a normal fire happened in an nuclear reactor. It takes them a good fair amount of time to fight the fires because the time they have reached there is not a very good time to come, as the fire has already spread across the regions of the reactor which were not initially on fire. But when the work of fighting the fire is done, they come out of the reactor but with not the same health and state as before. They experience some of the weirdest ailments they have ever witnessed in their lives. So they are quickly rushed to the nearby city, Pripyat's hospital, where after treating them for some time, the doctors realize that the nuclear reactor's radioactiveness is the cause of their ailment. Meanwhile, the nurses find out that being most exposed to the radioactive fire, the protective equipment of the firefighters are highly radioactive. So they throw it in the basement of the hospital. Meanwhile, the police department has already been called by the doctors that and were told that the residential colonies had to be excavated because it was in the danger due to the reactor's radioactiveness. So the police department does the same as informed to them by the doctor. The people living in the colonies were told that they will be returning home in 4 days. But that is not what happened, my friend, because 4 days is just a small amount of time. Not 4 days, but 4 weeks have been passed, but there is no sign of them going back home. So they are settled where they were shifted to. But the problem of the reactor was not at all sorted by just shifting the people living near it to a safe place, because the reactor might not still be on fire, but it is still emitting radioactive fume across not the whole country, not the nearby countries, but across the whole continent of Europe. So the nearby countries like Russia and Romania joined to appoint military and police personnel and name them liquidators to build a confinement zone around the reactor to trap the tons of uranium and plutonium inside of it. Now, the liquidators had two choices. Either they could just save their own lives and risk the life of people for not years but generations to come, or they could risk their own lives and save the lives of people. But kindly, they chose the first option. So, after a lot of work and retirements of many liquidators, the confinement zone named the sarcophagus, derived from a word that is used to define the cases in which mummies are put, is finally built. But this is not the end, as around the year 2007, the old sarcophagus began to crumble and fall apart. So a new confinement zone named the Safe Confinement Facility was built, and precautions were made to use materials such as steel which could stand the hit of weather for years to come. And this is how a disaster that could have caused the deaths of millions of people is now enclosed within a steel dome. But still, anybody who visits Chernobyl is greeted by a sight that clearly looks like a post-apocalyptic place where the time has stopped. And I also want you guys to also witness this sight in this video. So here it is. Oh my god, guys, I cannot believe this video is finally over. And yeah, guys, this was one of the most time-taking video I have ever made. So hope you guys support it as you supported my previous video. And by the way, the 100 subscriber marks is complete, guys. We have hit the 100 subscribers. I never thought that we will be hitting it when I started the channel in 2017. You guys are clearly amazing. You give me a lot of support and motivation, and keep your support and motivation with me. Let us hit 100 subscriber before 2021. And as usual, hit that subscribe button. Do not forget to like and share with your friends and family, because knowledge increases every time you share it. And as always, be happy, be rocking.